Hey guys, what's up? This is going to be game 2 of this best of 3 series between Gizmo and Elliot. The map is going to be Akalon Waste, and in top left hand position it is going to be Gizmo spawning as the yellow Protoss. And in bottom right position it is Elliot spawning as the red Terran. He is up 1-0 at this point in this best of 3. Showing some pretty solid macro play against his Protoss opponent. And doing a nice job of just macroing out, having the appropriate unit composition at the right time, and Gizmo just couldn't quite hold the push off, and Elliot just kind of out macroed his opponent. I felt like the really decisive push was when Elliot was like 40 to 60 supply ahead, just before the fight, and afterwards he was way ahead. And we'll see what Gizmo decides to do this game. I wouldn't mind seeing some sort of all-in on this map. Blink all-ins aren't too bad. The only problem is you can't move from this area to this area without having to blink down or walk around. So that could be a problem. But Stargate play is pretty good on this map as well, just because of how many places are out of proxy, like right there. Up here, you can proxy up here. It's pretty much impossible to spot any proxies on this map, even if you know they are coming. So Elliot really needs to be careful and scout out properly what Gizmo is going to throw out at him. But I wouldn't mind seeing Gizmo try and macro this game either, just because of how good the Protoss late game army is. And yeah, we'll see. It does look like both guys opening up pretty standard, nothing weird out on the way as of yet. And this map is pretty good for some 3-base play just because of how easy it is to secure this third. All you need to do is break down these rocks and break down these collapsible rocks, which generates separate destructible rocks here, which your opponent has to break through before they can come into your third. And Elliot scouting, pretty standard timing here after the barracks. Well, actually, as the barracks finishes, he sends out another SV to scout. Should be able to spot everything that's going on. Looks like everything is exactly the same in Gizmo's base as last game. 2 gases with 2 guys in each gas geyser. For now, he does fully saturate them later on. This just, I feel like the extra probe mining gas just lets you get that earlier mothership core out, and that's pretty good. Pretty good for the Protoss just because of how much defensive utility it has. Like no Zealot or Stalker coming out. He's just gonna wait for the Cybernetics core to just get that Stalker straight away instead of a Zealot. And yeah, Elliot on the other side is doing the exact same build as well. 1 Rex expand into, let's see how many barracks he makes here. Just on 2 barracks right now. He doesn't quite have the minerals to make his extra barracks, but we'll see. Yeah, now a 3rd barracks. Will he and a 4th barracks? Sending an SC over somewhere. Oh, that could just be to build the bunker though, just because this first Stalker will be out by now. Actually, no Stalker being started. This is a big blunder. Why is he not starting any units? It's really risky. Like, I felt like, you know, a standard timed Stalker would be out by 4:15, and he's just starting one at like 4:35, and yeah, that's just gonna let Elliot expand without any problems at all. I doubt Gizmo was planning to do any pressure anyways, so it doesn't matter too much, but it just means he's gonna have less stuff later on against you know, the 4 barracks worth of marine production that Elliot is going to have pretty shortly. And he is going to add the orbital command pretty soon, I believe. Yeah, there he goes. This is going to give him the double meal production, which is really nice in boosting your mineral income, especially with 4 barracks worth of production. You do want to have those mules to boost that mineral income, to give you the ability to constantly produce marines out of those barracks. And Gizmo doing the exact same build yet again. And I wonder what kind of adjustments he's going to make. His macro just really slipped last game. I felt like he could have been on equal footing as the Terran if he had just felt like, you know, not missed so many gateway warp in rounds, and maybe perhaps I think it was the fact that he tried to go for a safe build with the robotics facility, but then adding the robotics bay a bit too early, not producing any immortals out of the robotics facility. It was idled for quite a long time after it produced that first observer. So perhaps ironing out some of those inefficiencies in Gizmo's build could put him in a pretty good position in this game. There's nothing wrong with his build, it's just the way he executed it, I felt like. And the natural nexus has been secured quite nicely for Gizmo. He's feeling pretty safe, even though he only has 1 Stalker at the front, 2 sentries, and 1 well, the ship core. It does look like, yeah, the robotics bay is coming out at a really early time yet again. I think gateways numbers 3 and 4 are out slightly early this time, just so he can have a lot more stuff. A lot of chrono boost is being built up though. He should be trying to spend this on either probes or just, I don't know. I guess he could be saving it up for thermal lands, but you don't really need this much. Just for thermal lands, he is maxed chrono boost, and this is just time that he's wasting because you know you can't build up more than 200 energy. The marine count is looking pretty nice. He did secure his 3 gases, the same time as last time, double tech lab. This time his second tech lab has started a bit earlier, so he can have that stim and combat shield timing line up pretty nicely. Combat shields will finish a bit early just because it's only 110, yeah, and stim should be 170. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, this could be a pretty sick timing here that he can hit. The first Colossus is coming out on the way, but thermal lance hasn't been started just because. Yeah, the Gizmo is just, his macro is just slipping. I don't know what's wrong. Should be way ahead in the harvester count at this point if he used his chrono boost properly. Well, we'll see what happens. He better, in the fact that he doesn't have a lot of probes would usually mean that he has more army units, but that's not the case either. He's just not macroing this out very well. But that could be a personal thing. I don't know. Yeah, and with this starport swapping over to the reactor, the starport should pump out these medevacs in time for this stim to finish. He does have around 60 seconds, a minute until his stim is finished, so he should be able to push out after the medevacs come out, and he should be around here when the stim kicks in. So this is timed out really nicely for him. +1 hasn't even started yet, but that's not too bad. He did opt to put that earlier 100 gas into the combat shields and try to strengthen this push as much as possible. And at the 10-minute mark, the income tab is looking pretty good for Elliot, actually looking amazing for Elliot. He is actually ahead by 2 harvesters, and that's really bad for the Protoss, just because the Protoss doesn't have any mules to boost that mineral income. And the Marines are moving out. Gizmo not paying attention to that stalker does get picked off really early there. And with this ramp being this big, that's a 3 force field ramp, I believe. It's going to be hard to force field that perfectly to try and make sure that Elliot can't run up this ramp with this huge amount of bio right here. 2 Colossus are out though, so that's, I feel like, as long as Gizmo chrono boosts his gateways and has enough to tank for these Colossus, he should be fine. 2 Marines being sent to each individual third base location to make sure the opponent isn't being too greedy, and Elliot is actually not pushing out. He is going to keep building up on his Viking count and adding his third base at 11 minutes. Pretty good time. He is still on 4 barracks, slightly supply locked here, but that should be resolved with those 2 gateways being, 2 supply wheels being added. Going up to 7 gateways here, 1 forged this time instead of 2. Not being quite as greedy as last game, which is good for him. I wouldn't mind seeing Gizmo kind of take these out and secure his third base, but it looks like he's going to be aggressive with this army. I wouldn't, like, you know, just look at the supply. This amount of gateway units is not going to be enough to try and tank for these Colossus, and with 4 Vikings and this much bio, there's no way Gizmo's going to come out ahead in this trade unless he gets some amazing force fields and Elliot doesn't pull back, which is kind of unlikely. But +1 is about to finish for Elliot, and the upgrades are actually behind for Gizmo as well. The Colossus are getting some nice damage in here right now, but once the tanking units kind of melt down, the bio should be able to charge forward, and he's going to lose all these Colossus for sure. There's still 5 Colossus out in the field, and although it looks like Gizmo might push this back with the reinforcing Stalkers, warping the Stalkers is really not what you want to be doing, because the Terran will just make Marauders and kind of demolish all your armored Stalkers, and Elliot is still ahead in the supply right now. That push out from Gizmo was just kind of weird. Like, his +1 armor didn't finish in time for that push, and I felt like he should have waited for another warping round to really try and push forward with that. And with having lost all those Colossus, he have won with this army. He should just pull back. Maybe he was trying to deny an early third from Elliot, but at the same time there was no early third, so I don't know what he was trying to accomplish there. Like, there wasn't much point to that push. Warping in a lot of stalkers though to try and pick off the Vikings, which will be flying overhead of this bio. And Elliot does have quite a low amount of bio right now, but with this bunker over here and with this high ground advantage, he should be fine. Adding 3 more barracks over here. The Ghost Academy, actually 4 more barracks. Really nice job by him. Ghost Academy coming out as well, preparing for that inevitable High Templar transition. And Gizmo is looking like he doesn't really know what to do here. He has halted pro production, and it does look like he did try to go for this third base, but this Marine over here denying that quite nicely. And with the army being all the way across the map, Gizmo is going to have a hard time trying to kill that off. He does send that singular zealot here, try and pick that Marine off so he can establish that third base. The Widowmine is getting picked off by the Colossus long range there, and that's a nice job. You don't want to run into those Widowmines and lose stuff without there being much need to it. And Gizmo's upgrades are really lacking this game. Elliot's are as well, but he's just like the fact that he doesn't have upgrades just means he has more units. And Gizmo should have more units that he has right now, but he just doesn't because his probe count is just abysmal for the 15-minute mark. Okay, so now he does add another fort as well as the Twilight Council and starts charge as well as +2 armor. This should put Gizmo ahead in the upgrade game, which is pretty nice for the Protoss. You always want to be ahead in upgrades as the Protoss just because you have that Chrono Boost ability, which lets your upgrades come out way faster than your opponent. Up to 2 Colossus, now 1 Immortal actually mixed in here to try and pick off Marauders that will be in the bio. Templar Archives going down as well, right after the third. You, like, I don't know, like I don't think you could really support Templar production off the 2 base economy, and with this third being built, I feel like Gizmo should really resume pro production, just because if you secure that third and you don't have the workers to saturate it, like, well, why did you get that third base in the first place? But with this push coming out from Elliot, it does look like he's going to hit a really nice timing here before Storm is finished, and so he's actually 40 supply ahead right now. And with this many Vikings, 9 Vikings against 2 Colossus, he should do pretty well. Nice force fields though. Actually, those force fields I feel like are, you know, they're actually blocking the Zealots from contacting with the bio, but all the Colossus have already been taken out. The Mothership, no, actually, Mothership doesn't get picked up because all the Vikings get landed here, but they will do a nice job of tanking some of the fire while all the Zealots get taken out here. And with this many units left over for Elliot, I feel like he could just stem into the main, pick off all the production, and force out the GG from Gizmo. He is actually double the supply of Gizmo right now, and Gizmo's just trying desperately to warp in as much as possible, chrono boosting his gateways, but he's out of chrono boost right now, and yeah, Zealots trickling in, like, this isn't going to hold this off. You know, Gizmo, he tried pretty hard. You know, he made some adjustments in game 2 to try and counter the build that Elliot was going, but Elliot just did a really nice job of macroing up in his main, and this third is being denied, but at this point it doesn't really matter. Yeah, Gizmo GG, he's forced to GG out here, and Elliot takes the series 2-0. Really nice job by him, just never slipping in his macro, kind of delaying his upgrades in favor of a lot more units, and both times Gizmo was just kind of overwhelmed by the sheer number of units that Elliot was able to produce. And a good game from both guys. Gizmo definitely gave it his best shot, but Elliot seems to be just a little too much for him. And so Elliot takes the series 2-0. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. And I will try to bring more casts onto my YouTube, but we'll see what happens. See you guys next time.